Welcome to round 3 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of July 4th. I'm Catherine Halecko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
Nicole Eridix is away this week, but like us, she is a mom of teens and young adults.
Yes.
And when it comes to parenting, we have all been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But we're still waiting for that day when we'll reach the finish line and have no further need to lay down in a dark room with a wet rag over our eyes, worrying about something or other. Wednesday is complaint day here on Parenting Roundabout, and today we're complaining about having to be the household IT guy. So this is prompted by an article that you saw, Terry, in the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, and this is continuing our researchy sort of habit of seeing the headlines on something and laughing, and then just talking about the headline.
Right.
So we know this is the sort of the sort of inside information you're here for. You're not here for research. You're here for laughs. But I saw a parenting article in the Wall Street Journal by Julie Jargon, who you may have heard about here a whole bunch because I set up an alert for her articles. So I get them in my email and I see the headline and I think that's something we can talk about. And then we never get around to actually reading the article. But this one was called "Dads Are Often IT Guys When Couples Divide Chores." And I saw that and laughed. Don't I wish? My husband is like the anti-IT guy. He is the least technology-using person in the family, and proud of it, baby. And so
he wants a flip phone.
He has a flip phone. He started to watch streaming stuff because baseball is on streaming services, but other than that, not so enthused. He doesn't use a computer. Every now and then I put something on a computer for him and find him a mouse and he will look at things, but not very often. And certainly in terms of fixing stuff or wiring stuff or setting stuff up, that's me. Mm-hmm. That's me. I don't like the job. I don't want it. I wish somebody else would want it. Mike, one of our few listeners, is right now raising his hand and say, "I'll do it for you, Terry. I'll do it." Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, it's usually sort of a on-the-spot sort of thing.
Yes.
And the thing is, I can do it. I know how to do it. It's not that hard. Macs in particular are not that hard. And other technology, I can figure it out. I'm not that old yet. Getting there, but not that old yet. It's just, I don't want to, you know? It's just like, I really have other things to do. I did get my daughter and husband to call the cable company once when we were having problems, and they came out with glassy eyes. And I said, "See?
Never again."
See how it is? But, it's like sometimes there's stuff wrong with my kids' phones, and I know there's stuff wrong with it. My son gets this calendar spam, and I know my daughter sometimes stuff's not working, but they will not give me their phones to fix them. So my IT credentials are not sufficient for them to let me see the phone. Probably if my husband had, they would, because they would know he would not poke into their things.
Right.
They fear that I will, and that is a well-placed fear. But still, let me clean the spam out, man.
Right.
And while I'm there, let me just rehook up the thing that means I can track you everywhere, because it seems to be disconnected.
How did that happen?
Just gonna brush up. Just gonna, make sure all the settings are appropriate. Mm-hmm. Make sure I know your password. Just stuff like that. It's fine. Oh, but the IT guy gets no respect.
No.
So is your husband the IT guy at your home, Catherine? Please tell me he is, and then I will be very, very jealous of you, because it will be clear that it's just me.
Well, I would say he mostly is.
Is it nice?
He at many, many years ago, he worked at Verizon.
Oh.
Like corporate.
Inside man.
And so, of course, we've always had Verizon, that was like when not everybody even had a cell phone, and so we had, of course, Verizon phones at that time. Yeah. And yeah, he's still, I've somehow gotten it so that he he's like the account holder on all our Verizon phones. So whenever there's a situation, he goes to the Verizon store. So that is huge. That's
Yes.
a real big thing
That is very
that
nice.
I don't normally do. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And same with like cable and TV. Like, he was the one who wanted to buy the smart TV, and so he has it all set up, and that's pretty good. Although sometimes I'm like, okay, how do I how do I watch what I want to watch? Because I don't understand.
That's my husband does that, and
Yeah.
I really am not that sure about it. So my daughter, that's something my daughter has taken over, is knowing how to work the smart TV.
Yeah.
So we'll just say, "Come out here, your dad wants to watch."
Right. Please turn it to this. Help me find this show.
He's gotten once he had baseball as the incentive. He's gotten pretty good at finding stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that like baseball games are on streaming, wow, has a lot of money been changing hands.
Yeah, I didn't
Just
even really know that.
Yeah, some of them, Apple Plus has some of them, and at least for Yankee games, Apple Plus and Amazon. So it's like he'll go sit down to watch the game, and it's like not on the regular channel. So it's like,
Right.
okay, which of the streaming ones is it on?
Right. How do I find it?
Yes, so that is quite a motivator and makes me feel better about spending the money for the streaming services. Because you can always get his games, but I don't know. It's just would be nice. Maybe I should have sent. I did try to have my son having a computer major in college, but he wasn't into it, so we switched to a couple of other things. Somebody else, is there training? Can I send somebody to training? I mean, I can still search for things. Friend of the podcast, Mike, I'll give him another shout out, was telling me search for this, search for that, and used to work just primo. That I could search, I could find, I could fix. It was great. But either because I'm getting older or because there are now like 5 million different models, each of which, even of Macs, each of which has a slightly different way of doing things, it becomes a little more difficult to be able to just find out what to do. And
Yeah, I mean, if there's trouble with, the Wi-Fi or with, my personal laptop, then
you're on your own.
I'm on my own there. And, if it's the Wi-Fi, turn off and turn on again is basically the extent of my
you know what I miss?
skills
I miss the days where you could like unplug the computer and plug it back in and it would probably fix it. Doesn't work with laptops.
No.
I also remember the days where you could kick the computer and it would probably fix it. And that's not practical. There's not really enough kicking real estate on a laptop.
No.
But one of those old solid desktops.
Right?
I heard somewhere, it's probably not true, but I heard somewhere that rebooting came from just dropping it on the floor and kicking it. Which is, even if it doesn't work, incredibly satisfying.
Yes.
But, you can't really kick an iPhone. You're probably going to do some damage. But I don't know. And then it's also depressing when I feel like, all right, this is beyond my level of knowledge. I'm going to go to the Apple Store and talk to an expert. And I know more than they.
Yeah.
They ask
Because you've been using Apple products since before they were born.
Than they've been alive. Yeah, definitely. So it's like, I did that. And I was like, well, guess it's time to get a new one then. I don't know what it could be.
Right.
So, I don't know. I would like to stand down from that job, but, if you can make the thing work,
You're a hero.
it's very nice. It's a high self-esteem moment if you can make it happen. I used to have a lot of those. I have less of those now. Whether it's the instructions I can find online or whether it's my brain, not sure. But wow, is it great when you can just hit a few things and it starts working and your kids go home. Still won't give me their phone though. See, look how good I am.
They'd rather have the person at the Verizon store deal with their phone.
Yeah.
Well, and also you're the podcast IT person.
I am the podcast IT person, yes. And
For the most part. I mean.
Yeah. I have problem solved, the editing of podcasts. I've tried out different settings and different software, and joined the Podcast Editors Club on Facebook so I can see people who are a lot more skillful than me making me the web. But no, I have done that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's impressive what you've figured out in terms of.
It is definitely skills that I have acquired, even as an old dog. Few new tricks. And as you all are listening to that, saying, this podcast sounds crappy, maybe you should get an actual person who knows what they're doing. No, it's me. I'm doing it.
And it does not sound crappy. It sounds good. Especially if you compare, now to our early years.
Yes. And also, pre-COVID, lots of people were recording podcasts in studios and they sounded super good. And now everybody's recording over Zoom or over, cell phones or over something. And so everybody sounds crappy. Yeah. It's great.
The playing field has been leveled. So,
yes, it is.
Well, that will be it for today's round 3. We'll send it off to Terry to edit now. Tune in tomorrow when we'll obsess about saying no to our kids, and then on Friday to see what we've come up with for our Roundabout Roundup picks this week. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there on our Facebook page or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.